a letter that I received from my district, and this man wrote me and said, "My wife has been recently informed by her insurance carrier that her health care policy does not comply with the Affordable Care Act. Now we must purchase a new policy to get the same coverage at an 18% increase in our premium. So what happened to the if you like your insurance, you can keep it question?" What would you say to that individual?
Well, I would take them back to pre-Affordable Care Act days, where, in fact, if you were in the individual market, you were living at a 50% churn. Half the people in the individual market prior to 2010 didn't stay on their policies. They were either kicked off for pre-existing condition. They saw their premiums go up at least 20% a year, and there were no protections for them. And sometimes they were in plans that they thought were fine until they actually needed a hospitalization. Then they found out it didn't cover hospitalization or it didn't cover cancer. So I would take them back to the fact that since 1986, their health care cost and coverage have been the number one issue for small businesses for the last 20 to 30 years. And we've been talking about it for the last 20 or 30 years. That's actually why I came into this job, is to try to deal with this issue. So now what I would say is this. Now if, in fact, the issuer has decided to change the plan, didn't have to. Plans were grandfathered in 2010. If they didn't make significant changes in cost sharing and this sort of thing, they plans that they had. But some insurance companies have decided, and I think that's what you were referring to in your opening statement, that they want to offer new plans. And if they offer new plans, they have to come into the requirements of the Affordable Care Act, which are you have to offer the 10 essential coverage benefits. You cannot judge people on pre-existing. You cannot discriminate based on sex. There are lots of things that are required under the Affordable Care Act that actually protect consumers. But these premium increases were going on a long time prior to the Affordable Care Act, and in fact, we've seen the most premium moderation in the last 3 years than we've seen probably in 15 or 20 years. So that's what I would say to them. I try to explain to them the real issues.
Well, the carrier told them that the plan didn't comply, but nothing you said had anything to do with how they can get their costs down. And I think that's the real problem that we're seeing here, is that the costs are...
So what I would tell that individual is if their carrier is telling them they're changing the plan and they're offering an increase, that they would need to go take a look at what's available in their state and in their market, which is certainly something that's available to them through the exchange.